slaves, and you refuse. And as long as you will be a step and fetch it, as long as you will sell out for $1, they make dollars every day. Right next to the Holocaust Museum in Washington is where the Federal Reserve prints the money. The Federal Reserve is the synagogue of Satan. The Federal Reserve, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the House of Rothschild. These are the people that have corrupted the entire world. And I am here to pronounce your doom. Now America's become a fascist country. You remember when Senator Huey Long is quoted as saying, when fascism comes to America, it will be called anti-fascism. Fascism is designed and defined as an authoritarian political ideology that combines nationalism with a corporatist economic system. Fascists advocate the creation of a single party. You think that the Democrats and the Republicans are different? Now, who controls the U.S. Congress? Do you think it's you? Can you really depend on the Senate and the House of Representatives to represent your interests? They're in bed with insurance companies. They're in bed with special interests. And they're in bed with Israel. Most of your senators, many of them, and congresspersons are honorary citizens, members of the Knesset. They control America's wealth. President Bush was controlled. There's not a president that is the real power. The real power are those moneyed people.
All right, family. Assalamu alaikum. It's your brother Supreme X with our Thursday night broadcast, as we do this every Thursday. And make sure you tune in next week, because we have a special guest, a pioneer, or OG as we would call him, a brother that has been in the ranks for over 30 years. He's going to be our guest next Thursday at 10 Eastern Standard Time, inshallah. So make sure you're tuned into that. We will release who that is later on in the week. But he is a well-known student minister in the Nation of Islam. So this is our Separation and Independence broadcast, where we go after why we need to separate. And we also tackle and talk about the minister being the black leader, the last black man standing for Black America in the whole black nation on the earth, right? And how he is that power, and how he is backed by divine power, right? But on here, we talk about separation and independence, and we talk about how we have to get some type of group economics. So inside of Forward Money, that's what our brand and that's what our organization is based off on. It's us having some type of system where we do group economics, where everybody can be equal, because we cannot fight the enemy in his system thinking we are really gonna get free. But we got a video where the minister is gonna talk about that. So before we get into the heart of our broadcast, I wanted the minister to set the tone, because part of what he said towards the end of that clip is what we're gonna deal with today. We're going to deal with and talk about this president election, since that's a hot topic. We're going to go into that, and we're going to go and weigh it, Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, or Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Say versus Lucifer, who you're voting for. We're going to get into that and let you make a decision. So, but before we get into that, y'all know that this broadcast is based on what the Muslims believe, the Muslim program, what the Muslims want, and what the Muslims believe, right? And we go after this and we talk about why the Nation of Islam preach separation, why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote this up for the Nation of Islam. And you in the Nation of Islam, whether you are a registered member in the nation or not, if you're black, if you're brown, you're yellow, you're a red man, you are part of the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam only means the Creator's nation, a nation of righteousness. Islam means peace. So this is the nation of the righteous, peaceful man, the original man. Whether you're black, brown, yellow, or red, you are in the Nation of Islam. And especially if you is housed or stand in the bounds of the hell bounds of North America, because we have been under the United States of America for almost 500 years. Since 1555, we have been under their foot. So it's time for us to get free, go free. But we got one last enemy, that satanic Jew that controls the monetary policies of the world in the black community. We have to get rid of him, and then we can be free at last, and we can unite at last. So let's get into it. The Muslim program, what the Muslims want. This is the question asked most frequently by both the whites and the blacks. The answers to this question I shall state as simply as possible. Number one, we want freedom. We want a full and complete freedom. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, or class, or color. Number three, we want equality of opportunity. We want equal membership in society with the best in civilized society. Number four, we want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves, I know mine was, to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to provide such land, and that the area must be fertile and mentally rich. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate territory for the next 20 to 25 years until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. Since we could not get along with them in peace and equality after giving them 400 years of our sweat and blood and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced, we believe our contributions to this land and the suffering forced upon us by white America justifies our demand for complete separation and a state or territory of our own. Right? So, and we know, and when we go to what the Muslims believe, we know, okay, this was a misprint. Bad. So once we go to what the Muslims believe, we know once we get to point number 12 is why the Zionists are the rulers of this world, rather, why they hate the Nation of Islam so much. And a lot of people don't understand why they talk about the minister in such a way, why they don't want you to hear him, why they don't want you to hear nothing about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, why when they say something about the so-called black Muslims, they always got to say something negative or something bad to make you not support us, or to make you think that we're something different, or we're some type of black radical racist group, hate group, right? And that's what they want to keep us away from. But the real reason is because we're bringing to the black man and woman of America the God of our fathers, the God of our father, the supreme being of our fathers. The supreme being changes from time to time. This human flesh, this flesh is finite. It has to go back to the earth, right? It has to go back to the earth. But the spirit of the originator is infinite, and he lives through his people. So when one comes on the scene that's supreme in wisdom, knowledge, and power, He is the supreme being. And this is a being. This is a man. They don't want you teaching this. The 10%, they know that God is a man. And they know that the original man is that God, that everybody that you see on the planet comes from the black man and the black woman. They know this. And they don't want you to know this because they can't rule you when you look in the mirror and you say that, hey, the God that created the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, that's my father. I'm a straight descendant from him. They know it. Once you realize that, and once you wake up and that light bell go off in your head that you are a straight descendant from the originator, the creator himself, they cannot rule you, family. So they don't want you to hear this. So point number 12, we believe that Allah God appeared in the person of Master W. Fard Muhammad, July 1930, the long-awaited Messiah of the Christians and the Mahdi of the Muslims. We believe further and lastly that Allah is God, and besides him, there is no God, and he will bring about a universal government of peace wherein we all can live in peace together, right? That's the main reason that they hate us, and the Nation of Islam stays under a whole lot of propaganda, nothing but propaganda. They don't say nothing good about us, whether we feeding the poor, whether we're serving our people, whether we're cleaning up the prisoners, the prostitutes, the drug dealers, the gangbangers, the murderers, and the thieves of our people. They don't care, right? I'm a product of these teachings, and I ran the streets heavy. And I ain't talking about just tiptoeing. I'm talking about in the streets heavy every night, staying in crack houses, walking down alleys, in alleys, always scheming, trying to get over, selling drugs, kicking doors in. Went everywhere with a gun like it was a belt. Family, I am a direct product on what is produced when you feed your mind on this supreme wisdom that is given to us from the Nation of Islam, family. So that's what we're on tonight. So let's get into the main topic of our broadcast tonight. And we're going to raise the question. But before we get into that, I want y'all to see what we're talking about tonight. And then we're going to get into the meat of this. But we do got a clip to let the minister start us off. So let me pull up what we're talking about. Okay, here we go. Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. You can flip it however you want it. Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. Hey, however you want it, right? I'm not a political person, right? I know a little something about politics, but I know since whenever they passed the Civil Rights Bill, I think that was like 1965, if I'm not mistaken, 63. 63. The same year that they killed their president, J.F. Kennedy. I was right after that. Somebody Google that for me. Get that for me, baby, the year that they passed the Civil Rights Bill, right? But we got to understand in the 60s that it was two groups of blacks. You had a group of blacks, mainly in the South, who wanted to be integrated into white America, right? And 64, thank you, 64 was the Civil Rights Bill was passed. Now, since the years have passed, they have repealed some of those voting rights. So when Martin Luther King was here before they killed our brother, yes, they killed him, the government, the same people we going to vote for now, they killed our brother who wanted to be their brother, right? And he was a peaceful man, right? And he wanted to be their brother, and they killed him. It was a group of us wanted to be integrated with white America. Then there was a group of us with the Nation of Islam. You had the Black Panthers came later, late 60s, but you had the Black Panthers came, you had the movement. So you had a lot of black organizations that didn't want to be with white folk. They don't tell you about that though. So you just think it's the nation, right? But it was a whole lot of other black organizations that didn't want to integrate, that was with separation, right? And we're not talking about segregation, which we will get into these two words later. Segregation and separation is not the same. They are somewhat similar, but they are totally different in nature. And we will break that down in a minute, right? So Martin Luther King was leading the civil rights movement in the 60s. Then you had the Nation of Islam moving the separation movement along with other black organizations, right? Separation. So the enemy picked the less of two evils, or the less of integration. Don't give us no power. That's why this broadcast is titled Separation and Independence. Integration doesn't give us any power, nor does segregation. Only total separation will give us power and liberate us, right? And then the justification or the real reparations on what we need for us building the country, us being the base of the labor force in the economy of America. At the root of the economy of America is the black man. They didn't have nowhere. They brought us over here to build their world, and we did just that. And they haven't gave us no justice, no equality, no freedom. Yeah, they gave you a little freedom because you can walk out your house and go wherever you want to go. Just don't get caught by the wrong police. And then they're going to show you you're not free. Don't get into no court of law. Then they're going to show you you're not getting no justice, right? Don't go and apply for a job. They're going to show you you're not equal. So the God of righteousness, Master Fard Muhammad, came to bring us freedom, justice, and equality. And he taught the most honorable Elijah Muhammad what justice looked like. Without us getting territorial land, there's no justice. There's no justice, and we're not free. Unless we have land that we govern, we pay no taxes on it, right? So before we get more into this election coming up between the two, Satan and Lucifer, I don't know who you're voting for. We're going to see. We got another short clip of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that we put up today on our YouTube channel, family. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go do so. Fard Money. You can follow us on Instagram. Please follow us and support us, because we are doing this and we're getting this information out like nobody else is doing, right? And we're going to keep this heat coming out, regardless on the hate, regardless on all of the backlash, regardless of the resentment and the envy and jealousy that we are receiving for comparing, for bringing us an economic plan, for bringing us an economic system in a way where we can all get free and really fight this dollar debt system. We're getting a lot of hate. We're getting a lot of slander. We're getting a lot of bad reviews. We're getting a lot of negative backbiting, and we're getting a lot of resistance, a lot of resentment, right? So family, we are doing this in my life. Don't think that for a moment my life is not on the line when we're talking about the Federal Reserve, the central banking system, the weakness of their dollar, breaking you the secret relationship between blacks and Jews, and talking about the Zionists and calling these names. Don't think these folks ain't watching. So don't be surprised that they ban our channel. Don't be surprised that that come in the near future, family. I'm not surprised, but social media didn't make me. Social media didn't make Fard Money. So it's not going to stop anything, but it will limit us getting this information out. So while we can, while we are here, please support our channels, support our live stream, support our broadcast, and make sure you subscribe to the Digital Final Call at finalcall.com. finalcalldigital.com. And if you want to donate to Muhammad Farms, go to economicblueprint.org. And if you want to become an entrepreneur, get off your job and get away from the dollar debt system to safeguard yourself, go to fardmoney.com. We provide that service for you. These are solutions to a problem. We got a solution. The Final Call is a solution to our mental problem, the media problem, the control media problem, because it's true factual news, black publisher, black writers, black everything, right? Black distributors, everything is black with the Final Call newspaper. Then we got Muhammad Farms, where we're trying to get more farmland or more equipment for the farmland that we got, so we can provide more food that the minister established, called the ABLE program, and the stable goods. A lot of y'all don't know nothing about that. But we have the stable program in the able goods, all you got to do is get in contact with your local Mars or your local study group, and you can order this food. Right? Everything clean. You got to worry about none of that. Right? The merchants of death, they have put the fast food in the black community for we don't understand. We are what we eat. Once you start eating all this terrible fast food, pork and all this garbage, you think garbage. That's why when you go into the black community, you got McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, all of the fast food junks, all of the bad Korean, Chinese restaurants, all of that terrible food that they're feeding, and you got the most mayhem, the most fratricidal killing going on is in our community, but y'all don't know that it's really connected to the food supply in the community. So we're trying to help out with that. This is a solution. Muhammad Farms is a solution, right? And Ford Money is a solution to the dollar debt crisis, or to a person not having any time where they're spending 8 to 10 to 12 hours, 5-6 days a week away from their family just to barely make ends meet. We have a solution for that, and we have something that will put you on top after this crisis, this economic crisis hit the fan, right? So with that being said, family, we're gonna get into this quick clip from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from 1998 in the Final Call administrative building. And we still have that building right now. And this is where the Final Call newspaper is distributed from all around the world. It's distributed out of this building that the minister got, that's not in his name. So it's not even his, but he got it for us out of his own money. He went through some stuff, went in debt to get it, and now we own it, family. So with that being said, pay attention to what he's saying closely, and then we're going to go into this election.
Right. So they had to try to defeat the prophet's reputation. Look at the words they use. Look at what they said to Pastor Barrett. Look at what they said on television. It is a possible pyramid scheme. They didn't say it was in fact that. They didn't really know what it was. They could have dealt with a pyramid. What was it? See? Force them to show their hand. Some believe, look at the words in the press, some believe it to be a pyramid scheme. T.L. Barrett believes it to be an economic development plan. Well, then let's pit our two beliefs together, either in the world or in a court of law. Because if we believe it's an economic development plan, then prove it. And if they believe it's a scheme, then let them prove it. We ain't got a damn thing to prove to rich people except that we're poor and trying to get the hell out of it. What do we have to prove to them? Did you ever ask the Chinese how they built Chinatown? How many of you talk to the Chinese? Mr. Wong, how did you get so many Chinese restaurants in the black community? Was it a business loan from the government? You didn't ask that, did you? Did you? The Koreans just got here a few days ago. Did you ever ask the Koreans, Mr. Korean, sir, how did you get so many businesses in the black community so fast and just got here yesterday? Did you ask them? The Palestinian refugees, the Lebanese, the people of the Middle East whose area is torn up with war and devastation. and they arrive in America penniless. Did you ever ask them, brother Palestinian, how did you get so many stores in the black community and just got here yesterday? The reason you don't know is because they're not on television. Didn't you hear the old rap, the revolution will not be televised? The Chinese are not trying to get on Channel 2 telling you how they built up Chinatown. You don't find the Cubans coming on TV. Hi, y'all. My name is Salvador Sanchez. I am a man that just came from Cuba. The communist Fidel Castro drove me out, but thanks to God, I have $20 million now. And I want to show all of you silly people how I got it out of your pocket. You don't hear from the Cubans. You don't hear from the Haitians. You don't hear from the Vietnamese. You don't hear from the Palestinians. You don't hear from nobody who comes to America and networks their money. Go ahead. They got a network going. Have you ever asked the Greeks, how come the Greeks own all these restaurants in every major city in America? Have you ever said anything to anybody? You ain't under any obligation to tell your enemy what you are doing to get the hell out from under his yoke.
All right, family. So those are words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Excuse me if I said 1998. That was in 1988, right? So, family, y'all heard what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, family. We ain't no obligation to tell the enemy nothing that we are doing, right? And this is going straight into the election because who are we voting for? What are we getting from the Democratic Party? What are we getting from the Republican Party, right? So we have got so sleep into the vote where if a black person vote for Donald Trump, y'all call him a coon, a house Negro, and everything, right? He just all of the above, he'll sell out and everything like that. Why are you voting for the racist? What? Joe Biden ain't a racist? Both of the Bushes weren't a racist? Ronald Reagan, was he a racist? Who did you vote for in that? Who was Hillary Clinton? Who was Bill Clinton? What are these people? But we don't get that same. See, this is for money. We do not hold back nothing. You're going to get the truth raw and in cut. If you can handle it, you will stay on. If you can't, you will jump off, family. But we're not tucking nothing. We ain't going to be biased about this. How we trashed our brother Kanye for supporting Donald Trump, but he went in the White House. We seen what he was talking to Donald Trump about, and then Trump passed the bill and let our brothers and sisters out of the federal system who was trumped up on the crack law. Obama made the crack law 18-1 from crack to powder cocaine, but it didn't go retroactive. When Obama passed that law, I was in federal system. Everybody didn't get that. Trump came back and made it retroactive. So that means if you was already sentenced where the crack cocaine ratio was 100-1 sentencing, Trump passed the bill and let these brothers out. They out right now. They did 10, 15 years, some of them 8, 9 years on a life sentence in the Fed. But everybody, we don't like to talk about that though. I'm not promoting Trump in no type of way. I'm just talking about the biasness, right? So when we trash Kanye for supporting Trump, but Trump did what he asked him for on live TV, we seen him ask Donald Trump about that, and Donald Trump signed the bill and let these brothers out. Don't nobody want to talk about that. But Jay-Z and Beyonce, I'm just talking about the hypocrisy of the black man and woman. We pick and choose. We don't just stand on truth, we pick and choose. What about when Jay-Z and Beyonce, when they did a concert for Hillary Clinton, they did a concert for Hillary Clinton and did what? Right? They did a concert for Hillary Clinton and did what, family? Let me try to restart. All right, family, we're back. So, family, but we didn't. But who spoke out about that though? Who talked about Kanye? I mean, who talked about Jay-Z and Beyonce being sellouts by supporting Hillary Clinton? And the reason our brothers and sisters had all that time under the crack law with the guns in the crack is because of the Clintons. Hillary Clinton was the one who called the black, our gang banging brothers, our street organization, super predators. That was Hillary Clinton. But Jay-Z them supported her. Didn't nobody say nothing about that. And the minister told us in 2004 that Bill Clinton was more Republican than the Republican, and said if he ran again, we would vote for him again. And be damned when his wife ran, that's just like putting Bill back in office. We lost more from 1992 to 2000 than under any other president. That's a fact, actual fact. Go Google it, right? If you don't believe me, right? So we biased with stuff, right? We just biased. So let's deal with what have we got from the Democrat Party? What have we got from the Republicans? What have we got out of vote, period? And if y'all want to be truthful about it, everybody going back to Reagan, Jimmy Carter, Richard Nixon, Trigger Dick, none of them liked the black people. We go back to the founding fathers. The first 4 presidents was all slave owners. They care nothing about you. They letting you vote to please you, so you can think it's hope in this dying system. That's why when Martin Luther King killed, he met with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1966. He got killed 2 years later. But after that, if you go track Martin Luther King's speeches from 1966 to the time of his assassination, you see a change in his language, in his attitude towards white folks. He even said when they were signing the Civil Rights Bill, I forgot the man's name, but he asked Martin Luther King, why you looking like this? He said, man, I feel like I'm integrating my people into a burning house. Yeah, it's a burning house. And we trying to tell you the most honorable Muhammad in the nation in Farrakhan, we just been trying to tell you, get out of the house, it's burning. Get out of it. We ain't getting nothing. We ain't getting nothing in the polls. Ain't nothing gonna change. If Biden be the president, ain't nothing gonna change. If Trump be the president for another 4 years, America just gonna go down faster. But ain't nothing gonna change for us. America going down, period. This is the fall of America. Let me get calm. Woo, let me get calm. Because I get overexcited about this, because this is an exciting topic right here. So let's break down segregation and separation. Segregation, family, is when we are put in a certain area of a town, a city, or state, but we are still governed by our enemies, the oppressors. Separation is when we are put in our own territory, our own land, and we don't answer to them. We govern our own territory. That's independence. That's Soviet. That's freedom. So we can say, just say, for instance, let me give you an example. Say if we get Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Florida. Say we were to get those 8 states, because we asking for 8 to 10 states, a minimum of 8, right? We asking for 8 to 10 states. Say we were to get those, we will have border patrol guard getting into any one of those states, because that's our border. Just like when you go down to Mexico, you got to cross the Mexican border, right? You go to Canada, you got to cross the Canadian border. That's a Soviet land. That's not the United States, right? So that's what separation is. But segregation is, we already segregated right now. All the black people live amongst black people. We got a few blacks who live amongst white. But if you go to Atlanta and Buckhead, ain't no but black people around there. You go in the hood, ain't no but black people in the hood. We already segregated, but we're still rule, control. And the police is the occupying force to keep us boxed in. To keep us boxed in, right? That's why they got railroads and trains going through all of the urban major black communities throughout the United States in the highways, and they have reinforced the highway to bring those military, National Guard, army military, tanks, trucks, cargo vans, and all of that through the community so they can slaughter the black man and woman wholesale. And that's about to happen, right? So stay tuned. They already sending in the National Guard. The National Guard don't come to talk. The National Guard don't come to chase you. Listen to what I'm saying. The National Guard come to demand and make order happen in whatever town they hit. If you out of control, they put you in control by whatever force they want to use. Do you hear me? We have to understand, family, this is what's going on now. We have to think separation. We have to think independence. We have to think unity. That's the way we're going to win. Once we unify, we put the religious differences aside. We put the political differences aside. We have to come together and think and function on a collective whole for us to survive in mass numbers. However, in the fall of America, and if you haven't got any of your books, make sure you go and get these books. Message to the Black Man. This is one of the greatest books that you could ever get. Everybody black should have one of these at the top of your library. At least one. This book here is so informative. I mean, everything that's going on right now, the Muslim Muhammad outlining right here in real time. And this book was published in 1965, right? Then we got Jews Selling Blacks. Make sure you go get this. This is a small book, but it just gives you the proof that the Zionists have been our worst enemy the whole time, because they have been posing for a friend, where they had played every part imaginable that you can think of in the transatlantic slave trade, right? Then we got Defending Farrakhan books 1 and 2. Make sure you go and get this, because when he called us, who are the real children of Israel, that Master Farad Muhammad told the Muslim Muhammad, here's some of the proof and here's some of the defense to that stand, right? And they haven't been able to deal with nothing that is said in here. Then y'all already know our highlighted book, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2, How Jews Gain Control of the Black American Economy. So please go to store www.finalcall.com and get your books. Right? So, but tonight we're going to get into Fall of America because we're witnessing the fall. This thing going down. So, the Mosam Muhammad, this is chapter 8 of this book. The Mosam Muhammad, and this book was published in 1973. So, just listen at the Mosam Muhammad so we can get a read on this man's mind. Who taught this man with a 3rd, 4th grade education? Who taught the Mosam Muhammad? Where did he get this superior knowledge from? How did he produce the most disciplined, fastest growing, self-disciplined, self-righteous military of black men with no weapons in America? How did he do this? Who taught him? Where did he get this knowledge from? Well, he took the Bible and raised black people up out of the grave with the Bible. Where did he get this power from? He taught out the Quran, but if you go and listen to any of the lectures coming from the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, Almost Muhammad, you're going to hear the Bible quoted more than the Holy Quran. Why? Because the black man know nothing about the Bible. You're not dead. You're not in the graveyard in the Bible. I mean, in the Holy Quran, excuse me. You in the graveyard in the Bible. The Bible put us to sleep with the Bible, not the Holy Quran. We ain't know nothing about that after they robbed us for 64 years of our history. 64 years. That's 6.5 decades. They broke us from the knowledge of ourselves. That's why they tell us that they brought us over here in 1619, but they really brought us over here in 1555. And we landed in a little town in Virginia. They might want to call Virginia in, so don't try to go there. But that's where the area was at, where Virginia is at right now. Right? So let's get into it. This is chapter 8, page 36 of Fall of America. The national election. Since we're talking about them, and then we're going to get to Trump and Biden in just a minute. The black man of America has been privileged by the slave master's children for the last century to vote for whites for the offices to judge and rule. We can just stop it with that right there, man. We ain't gotta go no further. We just stop it right there. The black man of America has been privileged by the slave master's children for the last century to vote for whites for the office to judge and rule. We voting for somebody to rule us, an oppressor at that. We voting for our oppressor to rule us. Right? This freedom to vote has made the black man in America feel very dignified and proud of himself. He goes to the polls very happy to vote for a white ruler. Today, he is gradually changing to desire to vote for his own kind for such offices of authority. This they house, though. This they house. Because we flooded the polls and voted for Obama, which we should have. Because some people didn't never think that we were going to see a black president. But we're going to get to Barack Obama in a minute, right? But don't just think like he was no saint in office either. We're going to get in there in a minute. This business is warfare, separation, independence. You're going to get the truth uncut. If it hurts you, then, hey, it's just the truth. But we got to tell you, because he went in the seat of Pharaoh. So we got to just tell you what happened, right? So let's go. We must remember that our vote is strong and powerful only when and where the white man can use it to get in the office over his white opponent. Ho, what are you saying to Muhammad? What are you saying? Oh, I'm saying that they just using your vote to get in office. They ain't gonna give you nothing. Y'all hearing what I'm saying? Just like Joe Biden trying to please the black community because he know the black community is upset with Trump. But Joe Biden ain't gonna give us nothing. Why? Because we have no economic power backing up our vote. So he ain't got to owe us nothing because we ain't helping fund his campaign, even though he's a billionaire, but he's still getting funded from outside people. That's why you will see the Hispanics, the gay community, and the Jewish community and the Asian community get what they want because they got economic power unity. They got group economics so they can fund some of these politicians and make the politicians pass a bill or pass a law for them. Do y'all understand? This is what he just said. He just said it encrypted because the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is a man with divine insight. So what he say, he's speaking in formula. This is a formula, but he's just giving you the basics. You got to dig down into and attract what he's trying to get you to see. But he's speaking on simple terms, basic terms, surface. But it's a deeper meaning to everything he said, right? And if you don't want to know more about that, go and listen to the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, who is his chief student on the scene today. Nobody understands what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught better, nowhere near better, not even close, than the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, right? So let's get to it. After the election and the victory, there are very few favors helped and aided him. Hold on, excuse me. After the election and the victory, there are very few favors that come from his office to the black voters who helped and aid him in getting in office. Why? Because he does not owe the black voter anything as long as he has to feed, clothe, and shelter us. No economic power, no independence, no equality. The black vote could be cast or not cast. The white citizens of the government are going to win and continue to rule anyway. Anyway, he didn't say anyway, that's my slang. Anyway. There is much talk of this man and that man. Who shall the vote of the people put in the White House for the next 4 years? That's what we're dealing with now. Right? That's what we're dealing with now. How much good have the two parties, Republican and Democrat, done for us for the last century in the way of freedom, justice, and equality? Regardless of what party wins, the die is always set against us, the black people in America. Injustice, crooked politics, and the breeding of corruption under crooked politics have been practiced ever since Adam to the present day rulers. To the present day rulers. This is deep, man. Injustice. Adam was the first crook. That's Adam in the garden in your Bible. Adam and Eve, who was really the start of the Caucasian race. Y'all hear me? That's what that's talking about. The first crook. There has not been justice for the black man in this race of people, and this is why the race suffers from the effect of chaos today. Excuse me. There are black politicians who would like to use their black people for selfish greed and will throw them behind any crook with money. Black politicians of this type have sold their black brothers to suffering and shame for self-elevation with the crook. This election is one of the most serious in the history of American government because either party that seeks the office of presidency is faced with the problem of saving the lives of the people of America. Now, this is in 73. This election right now is very serious, ain't it? With the pandemic going on. But I'm going to tell y'all a secret about this election, though. So be on the lookout. Just going to give you some of my insight on what I see coming, right? And what they might try to pull to get Donald Trump back in office. Be on the lookout for this, but it's coming. All right. If the present party, Democrat, remains in office where it's Republican now, you know the answer. If the Republican Party takes over, you know the answer. There will be a lull before the storm. The storm can be delayed, and every hour and day that it can be delayed is to your benefit. The black man should be very serious and careful about his voting because 90% of the black votes are cast by ones who do not have the knowledge of what they are casting their vote for. I still say, as I have said for many years, vote for Allah God to be your ruler and come follow me. So he let you know he ain't going to the poll, right? That's what he let you know. That's Mosam Allah Muhammad national election, right? 1973 when this book was published, right? But it's speaking to the heart and to the nature of what's going on today. So let's get to it. Trump a billionaire. Joe Biden's supposed to be a billionaire. Who should we vote for? Does Joe Biden got a record of any righteousness? Is Joe Biden, are we looking just for benevolent from this white man? He's still a white man. If he a billionaire in America, Donald Trump a billionaire in America, they probably under the cover buddies. Billionaires hang out with billionaires. They probably undercover friends that you won't hear about until you put Biden in office. Right? I'm just trying to tell y'all, man, just like Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump was buddies before she ran. They was friends. They was going to each other weddings and cookouts and stuff. Yeah. The Clintons are real wealthy, are hella wealthy. Especially how they robbed Haiti. They show enough wealthy now. Right? Y'all forgot about that though, didn't you? Yeah, I know. So what's going to change if Joe Biden becomes president? Joe Biden talking about raising the taxes. Who was affected the most by the raising of the taxes? Come on, family. Somebody type that in. Who was affected the most by the raising of the taxes? I don't care what type of taxes they raise. Who it hurts the most? It hurts the W-2, the W-4 employee workers. It don't really hurt the entrepreneurs because we know how to maximize and get the tax benefits. When you're a worker, it don't matter because you can't do nothing with your taxes but give them up. That's one of the signs on why you want to start a business, right? But so what's going to happen? Okay, this is what it's going to be. If Joe Biden wins, America going down, but it might take a little longer, just a little longer, right? Because the law and the Christ is on the scene right now destroying America. They curtailing it on all sides, right? If Trump wins, America going to go down in probably the next 5 years. Fast. You think this thing speeding up. As the day go by long, he in office, this stuff speeding up. So let me tell you a play. There's a couple of plays that the Zionists might try to pull to keep Donald Trump in office, right? And Donald Trump and his campaign and the people with him, what they might try to pull to keep him in office, right? This is deep now. Y'all got to listen. Now, it's really two plays that they can try to play. They're going to try to play, but they're going to probably make one of them, right? If not both, right? But I'm just going to give you one. One of them I'm not going to talk about on the live stream. Okay. If under Trump, before November, the elections, and the coronavirus don't get any better, especially the coronavirus don't get any better, right? They're going to kick off World War III. That will keep Trump in office. Or if they try to have an election and the American people vote Trump out, if the war going on, Trump with all his militant and KKK buddies, they're going to back him. Because remember what the minister said. Trump want to be king, not a president. Trump want to be king. Don't forget that the minister told us that. What does a king do? A king does not give up his throne without a fight. That's why if I'm a king of a country and I got a son, he the prince. If I die, he take over. It don't go to somebody else, another family. If I only got daughters, whoever she married, he becomes the prince. Y'all understand? This how it's passed down from family generation to generation. So if Trump want to be king, he not accepting no election to get him out of office. I'm just telling y'all now, y'all pay for this. These folks are real gangsters, right? See, we play gangster in the hood. The white man is a real gangster. The white man is a real gangster. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, brother Ernest, yes, sir. So, family, the white man is a real gangster. We just talk and play that stuff, right? We ain't really serious about that, right? So, all right. So, we try to wrap this up. They have been more and more in the news with Russia. I know y'all thinking about Chinese. They're not going to bomb the Chinese. That's not going to happen. China got America by the testicles, so that's not going to happen, right? But they will try Russia. And they are really going to be forced to try Russia because Russia is lining up the East against the Western world. Y'all hear me? Did y'all, anybody following this? Russia is leading the charge with the Eastern nations against the Western world foreign policies. Russia has not forgot about the Civil War. That's why the final fight with America that will destroy her power is to be fought in Germany. Y'all following this? They're going to be forced to bomb Russia because Russia is doing everything in their power to collapse the dollar. Warfare, the signs of warfare, the signs of anything, remember, has to have knowledge about it and it has to be systematically. So they are doing stuff right now to undermine the American central banking system, which controls the dollar, which gives America their power. The Most Honorable Muhammad told us in this book that America and Russia are going to go to war again in Berlin. Because he told us that. Now, we are here now. We just have to look and see what's going to trigger the war. We thought it was going to be America bomb Iran unjustified, and then and then Russia step into place, right? But it don't look like that's going to happen. It looked like what we have been overlooking, this world currency called the dollar, is at the root of the final war. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm just telling you from my insight, my study, right? This is my humble opinion from my study, my insight, right? I could be wrong. I'm very near correct. You feel me? So, family, but it's in here that the final war, and we got a clip of the minister telling us the final war is to be fought in Germany. The last war. And that war is with Russia. So if this war kick off before November, Trump probably not coming out of office while this war going on. I'm just telling you how they play now. Right? So, Joe Biden or Donald Trump, who you vote for? Satan or Lucifer? We might can't even vote. It might not even matter. Right? If they see Trump trying to lose, they're going to pull something, family. Joe Biden don't have the power that Trump got right now. Joe Biden don't have that backing. We just got to pay attention. And remember this. Whoever the Israelis favor in the election, 9.9 times out of 10, that's who's going to win. Let me hear you. Did y'all hear me? Talk back to me now. We're just giving you the signs now. We'll just let you know who really run America is a shadow government. The Zionists run the shadow government. Where's the Zionist territory at? Israel. So whoever you see the Jewish lobbyists inside of America, the Jewish organization, whatever president that they favor heavy, 9.9 out of 10, that's who's going to be your next president. But whoever this president is, this probably it. Because they're not going to repent. They're not going to give us reparation that we're asking for. So Allah in his Christ have to destroy America. It just got to happen. Because they are not going to bow down. This is Pharaoh. Read your Bible, read your Holy Quran. Pharaoh had to be destroyed because he would not submit to the Lord of the world. You think Trump submitting? Trump ain't repenting. Trump ain't did nothing. They ain't came out and apologized. And y'all got to understand the power that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is exercising right in our face. Why we say this? What has Trump tweeted about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Just one tweet. The minister did a whole lecture, a whole press conference directed to Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, in 2017 in Washington, D.C. at the Watergate Hotel, if I ain't mistaken. I think that was the location. But you can pull it up on YouTube. Go type in Farrakhan on YouTube. Everybody that don't know about this press conference that the minister did soon as Trump got in office in 2017, a year later, a year after Trump being in office, he had an address directed to Trump. Go and study that lecture. Go to YouTube and type in Farrakhan press conference Trump. And you're going to see it. And you listen at it. It's only about 2 hours. Listen at everything that the minister said is on there. Listen to everything that the minister said. It's not so much as Trump is scared of Minister Farrakhan. It's that the ruling powers, that shadow government that the minister is really going after, who the Nation of Islam is really at war with, told Trump, don't say nothing. He too popular. They want everybody to think that the minister is not relevant. So if Trump tweets something about Farrakhan, by the press conference of Farrakhan said this, the average person, whether they white or black, see the tweet, they're gonna go want to hear it. So they have told Trump, don't say nothing to Farrakhan. Don't you put no more spotlight on Farrakhan. Let us put out propaganda about Farrakhan. Don't you say nothing about nothing he said, because it's going to make the people want to know what he said. I'm telling y'all, family, it's not that. See, this is what we need, family. You feel what I'm saying? Separation and independence. Come follow the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Come support the Nation of Islam, family. Support what we got going on, because we're not going to win whether Trump is the president again or Biden is the president. We're only going to win when we put before the Congress and we unite under the Constitution of the nation. Us separate is the only solution. With that being said, family, this is the conclusion of our broadcast. Make sure you go to the Final Call Digital.com to get your subscription to the Digital Final Call. Make sure you go and donate to Muhammad Economic Blueprint, whether you want to donate a quarter, $1, $1,000, $100,000, whatever you want to donate. All of it is appreciated. And if you want to get you a gold savings account and become an entrepreneur overnight and have your own business to safeguard yourself from whatever the tax code, whatever the tax breaks be, so you can be in the position of a big business owner, go to forwardmoney.com. And if you want to fight back against this dying dollar, this currency that's printed in the Federal Reserve, go and go to forwardmoney.com and make you an account, and we will get in touch with you in the AM. With that being said, family, we're going to close this off with a short clip of the minister, 1996, when he talking about this final war, Can America, the divine destruction of America, can she avert it? And he also going to talk about the weakness of the dollar, the fall of the dollar, and how the new currency is going to come from outside of America. This is not me talking. This is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You can heed the warning, pay attention to the signs, I stay blind, and be in the loop. With that being said, family, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel too, Forward Money. We will see y'all Saturday night with the Future Money Show. Assalamu alaikum. Salam. Peace.
He said, America is gone. Her money is gone. There's no more silver, no more gold. After a while, she may ask for copper. The money is worthless. Right now, the money has no value. This used to be a silver certificate that used to say, pay the bearer on demand $1 in silver. You can't get silver for it anymore. You can't get gold for it. It is the wealth of the country that's holding up the dollar. He said, soon you'll see money piled and burning in the streets. There will be another medium of exchange not coming from this country. He said, I warn you because I love you. Now listen to these words. She will fight and continue to fight. He mentioned Vietnam and other areas of Asia. But the last fight will be in East Germany, and there she will be destroyed. Now I want you to stop with me a minute. I want to talk about East Germany.